Hello, Professor. Thank you for taking time to listen to our presentation that we have today. With me, I have my group members, and my name is Adeniyi Adelusola.
My name is Loke Kasai Shravani.
Hi, Professor. I am Surjit Dekrishnan.
Thank you. So we are a group of three, and we've come up with this report on impact of network security analyzer using a monitoring tool. So without no further ado, we're going to jump into the presentation. So first, we'll talk about the introduction. The introduction basically, in the age of universal electronic connectivity, when the world is becoming a global village, different threats, as we all know, like virus and hackers, eavesdropping and frauds, undeniably, there are no time at which security does not matter. There are those who believe that security problem faced by home users are greatly overstated, and that security is only concerned about business computers that have significant data with them. The truth is, majority of computer systems, including business ones, have not only threats about the data which they contain, rather these compromised systems are often used for practical purposes, such as to launch a distributed denial of service attack in opposition to the other network. And the goal of our project, of this presentation, is really to come up with a better understanding of network security application and the standards. And we also want to focus on application and standards that are widely used within the environment, within the network security cyberspace, and have been widely deployed. So the methodology that we're focusing on are six strong areas, which we believe are the right areas for us to focus on to be able to delve into. The first one is network security, and then network security attack, and then the second one is network security solution. The third is network protocol. The fourth one is security threat and the vulnerabilities. The fifth one is security countermeasures techniques. And the last one, but not the least, is the extracting result based on simulations results. So from this presentation, the learning outcome basically from our research and presentation is for the student of CNET221 network security, have a deep understanding of the impact of network security analyzer monitoring tool and how it can be beneficial to organizations across the world as we seek counter to cyber attack penetration worldwide. And students should also obtain a good grasp of current state of network security and the challenges that both individuals and organizations could face when and protecting themselves from similar attack. So network security, which is the first focused area, network security attack is an attempt to gain unauthorized access to an organization network, resources, services, with the objective of stealing data or performing other malicious activity. Now, we have two main types of network security attack. The first one is passive, and the second one is active. The passive attack, this is where attackers gain access to a network and can monitor or steal sensitive information, sensitive data, but they would not make changes to the data. They'll leave it the way it is, and they just steal the information. While they're active, it's when an attacker not only gain unauthorized access, but they also they forcefully modify, edit, or delete, or even encrypt the data by harming the data at the end of the day. So we distinguish network attacks from several other types of attack. That different type of attack, it's different from network attack, such as endpoint attack, malware attack, vulnerability exploit attacks, and advanced persistent threat. So the first on the bucket list of the network security attack is unauthorized access. For unauthorized access, we're referring to attackers accessing a network without receiving permission. Among the causes of unauthorized access attacks are weak password, lacking protection against social engineering, previously compromised attack, and insider threats. The second is distributed denial of service attacks. In this attack, attackers build botnets, large fleets of compromised devices, and use them to direct false traffic at the given network or the server of that enterprise. And distributed denial of service can also occur at the network level, for example, by sending huge volumes of SNIs, ACCs at packet, which can overwhelm a server or at the application level. For example, by performing complex SQL queries that brings a data to its knee or shutting a database down. The third one is man-in-the-middle attack. The man-in-the-middle attack actually involves an attacker attempting traffic either between your own enterprise network and external sites or within your network. And if communication protocols are not secured or attackers find a way to circumvent that security, they can steal data, and not just that, but that are being transmitted, and also obtain users' credentials and hijack the entire network sessions. So the fourth, which is code and SQL injection attack. Many websites accept user inputs, credentials, what's it called? ATM details, and they fail to validate or sanitize those inputs. Now, attackers can fill out those forms and make them an API call. And by that, what we mean is that it will start passing malicious code instead of the expected data values. The code is executed. The code that will be put and that will be inserted on the site will be executed on the server, and it now allow attackers to compromise it. And then the last one is privilege escalation. Once attacker penetrates your network, they can use privilege escalation to expand their reach. Horizontal privilege escalation involves attackers gaining access to additional or adjacent systems, and vertical escalation means attacker can gain a higher level of privilege for the same systems. And then the last on that list is insider threat. So a network is especially vulnerable to malicious insider who already have privilege access to the organization system. So the insider could be someone already working in that organization that have privilege, that have an advanced or senior level privilege or system admin privilege. And the inside threats can be difficult to detect and protect against because the insider do not penetrate the network in order to do harm. But new technologies like user and even behavioral analytics can help identify suspicious or anomalous behaviors by internal users, which can help identify insider attack. So I think my colleague would take over from here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'll continue from here. Network protection best practices. First one is place security devices correctly. Deploy anti-DDoS devices or cloud services at the network edge. Carefully consider where to place strategic devices like load balancers. If they are outside the demilitarized zone, they won't be protected by your network security apparatus. Next one is use network address translation. NAT lets you translate internal IP addresses into addresses accessible on public networks. You can use it to connect multiple computers to the internet using a single IP address. This provides an extra layer of security because any inbound or outgoing traffic has to go through a NAT device, and there are fewer IP addresses, which makes it difficult for attackers to understand which host they are connecting to. The next one is monitor network traffic. Ensure you have complete visibility of incoming, outgoing, and internal network traffic with the ability to automatically detect threats and understand their context and impact. Combine data from different security tools to get a clear picture of what is happening on the network, recognizing that many attacks span multiple IT systems, use accounts and threat vectors. Next one is use deception technology. No network protection measures are 100% successful, and attackers will eventually succeed in penetrating your network. Recognize this and place deception technology in place, which creates decoys across your network, tempting attackers to attack them and letting you observe their plans and techniques. You can use decoys to detect threats in all stages of the attack lifecycle: data files, credentials, and network connections. Next one is network security solutions. Network security is vital in protecting client data and information, keeping shared data secure, and ensuring reliable access and network performance, as well as protection from cyber threats. A well-designed network security solution reduces overhead expenses and safeguards organizations from costly losses that occur from a data breach or other security incident. Ensuring legitimate access to systems, applications, and data enables business operations and delivery of services and products to customers. Security protections, firewall, network segmentation, access control. Firewalls control incoming and outgoing traffic on networks with predetermined security rules. Firewalls keep out unfriendly traffic and is a necessary part of daily computing. Network segmentation. Network segmentation defines boundaries between network segments where assets within the group have a common function, risk, or role within an organization. Access control. Access control defines the people or groups and the devices that have access to network applications and systems, thereby denying unsanctioned access and maybe threats. Zero trust. Remote access VPN and zero trust network access. Remote access VPN provides remote and secure access to a company network to individual hosts or clients such as telecommuters, mobile users, and extranet consumers. Zero trust network access. The zero trust security model states that a user should only have the access and permissions that they require to fulfill their role. Zero trust network access, also known as software-defined perimeter solutions, permits granular access to an organization's applications from users who require that access to perform their duties. Okay. Next one is email security and data loss prevention. Email security refers to any processes, products, and services designed to protect your email accounts and email content safe from external threats. Most email service providers have built-in email security features designed to keep you secure, but these may not be enough to stop cyber criminals from accessing your information. Data loss prevention. Data loss prevention is a cybersecurity methodology that combines technology and best practices to prevent the exposure of sensitive information outside of an organization, especially regulated data such as personally identifiable information and compliance-related data like HIPAA, S4X, PCI DSS, etc. Okay, from here, my friend Sujit will continue.
Hello everyone, I'm Surjit. I'm gonna deal with the topic robust network security will protect again. Some of them are virus, worm, Trojan, spyware, and ransomware. First one, virus. A virus is a malicious downloadable file that can lay dormant that replicates itself by changing other computer programs with its own code. A worm is a standalone malware that can propagate and work independently of other files where a virus needs a host program to spread. Trojan. A Trojan is a backdoor program that creates an entryway for malicious users to access the computer system by using what looks like a real program but quickly turns out to be harmful. A Trojan virus can delete files, activate other malware hidden on your computer network, such as a virus, and steal valuable data. Spyware. Much like its name, spyware is a computer virus that gathers information about a person or organization without their express knowledge and may send the information gathered to a third party without the consumer's consent. Ransomware. This is a type of Trojan cyberware that is designed to gain money from the person or organization's computer on which it is installed by encrypting data so that it's unusable, blocking access to the user system. How network protocols work. A network protocol is an established set of rules that determine how data is transmitted between different devices in the same network. Essentially, it allows connected devices to communicate with each other, regardless of any differences in their internal processor structure or design. Network protocols are the reason you can easily communicate with people all over the world and thus play a critical role in modern digital communication. Similar with the way that speaking the same language simplifies communication between two people, network protocols make it possible for devices to interact with each other because of predetermined rules built into devices, software, and hardware. Network protocol examples. First one is Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP. This internet protocol defines how data is transmitted over the internet and determines how web servers and browsers should be respond to commands. This protocol or its secure counterpart HTTPS appears as the beginning of various URLs or web addresses online. Secure Socket Shell or SSH. This protocol provides secure access to a computer even if it's on an unsecured network. SSH is particularly useful for network administrators who need to manage different systems remotely. Short Message Service or SMS. This communications protocol was created to send and receive text messages over cellular networks. SMS refers exclusively to text-based messages. Pictures, videos, or any other media require multimedia messaging service, which is MMS, an extension of the SMS protocol. Now, some security threat and vulnerabilities. Traditional antivirus software is designed to block file-based malware. This solution was fine in the early days of security software, but attacks have evolved to bypass this kind of protection in a number of ways. In this post, we look at the 5 most common cybersecurity threats that can bypass traditional AV solutions. Next slide. 5 common cybersecurity threats that bypass legacy antivirus. First one is polymorphic malware, same but different. Take a look at any public malware database like virus tool and you'll be same old threats being uploaded on a daily basis. A lot of common malware is regenerated, sometimes as often as every few hours with a completely different file hash. Some malware changes its content based on a local device parameters, resulting in a fresh hash every time they run. Polymorphic malware, same different. With a non-malicious file, defenders can generate a unique checksum that will identify a copy of that file, regardless of its name or location, on any system using common utilities like SHA and MD5. It is used to be a great idea, but the rapid recycling of old samples into what legacy AV would see a new threat has reached such epic proportions that it's impossible for hash-based solutions to keep up. The purpose of such tinkering is to defeat signature-based AV tools that rely on checking a file hash against a known database of malware hashes. Advanced threats, if it's unknown, it's unshown. Many AV tools that have recognized the inadequacy of just checking for signatures and have moved to using a rule-based scanning system as well, typically the Yara tool invented by Victor Alvarez. Yara rules were a great step forward and are deployed by many AV solutions, but there are 2 problems that make it easy for malware to avoid detection by such rules. First, as with file hashes, malware authors can figure out which strings a given engine is using to detect their malware and change the strings to avoid detection. Here is what a real Yara rule looks like. Malicious documents, when is a dog not a dog? Sometimes a maliciously formatted document is used to exploit vulnerabilities in the opening application. to achieve code execution rather than relying on functions like macros. Such documents depend on coding errors in the application that can lead to a buffer overflow or heap sprain. A technique whereby embedded shellcode is written to multiple memory locations in the hope that one or more will allow execution of the attacker's code. Adobe Reader and Microsoft Office are popular targets for these kind of malicious documents, both because of their ubiquity and, at least in the former's case, history of repeated vulnerabilities. Wireless malware. It doesn't have to be seen to be real. When most people think of malware, they typically think of some kind of malicious file that gets downloaded onto their computer and start to cause damage or steal personal data. In the last few years, however, attackers have realized that traditional AV solutions having gapping blind spot. Malicious processes can be executed in memory without dropping telltale files for. Okay, I'm gonna redo the slide 4, which is wireless malware. It doesn't have to be seen to be real. When most people think of malware, they typically think of some kind of malicious file that gets downloaded onto their computer and start to cause damage or steal personal data. In the last few years, however, attackers have realized that traditional AV solutions have a gapping blind spot. Malicious processes can be executed in memory without dropping telltale files for AV scanners to find. What makes fileless attacks so difficult for traditional antivirus software to spot is the fact that they typically subvert trusted processors such as PowerShell and run L32.exe, an essential Windows executable that loads dynamic libraries of shared code for other programs. Now, encrypted traffic, hiding the traffic pretty securely. Another blind spot for legacy AVs and encrypted traffic, which thanks to pressure from Google and others has now become the norm for most websites. While HTTPS and SSL certificates are a great way to help secure your communications with a trusted website, they just as help fully protect attackers' communications too. Malicious actors can hide their activities from inspection by ensuring, just like regular websites, that traffic between the victim and the attacker's command and control service protected by end-to-end encryption.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it from there.
Thank you. Yeah. Now I don't go with the conclusion.
Okay, so we'll now talk about the security countermeasure techniques. The first one is firewalls. Implementing firewalls to control incoming and outgoing network traffic, preventing unauthorized access, and filtering malicious content. Then IDS, intrusion detection systems. Intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems. These tools monitor network traffic for suspicious activities and either raise alarms, that's the IDS, or block threats in real time, that's the prevention system. Then we have encryption, utilizing encryption to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access and ensure secure communication. We also have MFAs, the multi-factor authenticators requiring multiple forms of identification, e.g. password, biometrics, to verify user identity and enhance login security. Patch management. This is regularly updating software and application to address known vulnerabilities and prevent exploitation. Then we also have security awareness training, regular educating users about cybersecurity best practices to reduce the risks of falling victim to social engineering attacks like phishing. Then we'll look at the last module, which is extracting results from simulations-based analysis. So simulation-based analysis plays a crucial role in assessing the effectiveness of security countermeasures before deploying them into real-world environments. By replicating attack scenarios and system responses, simulations enable the evaluation of security measures, strengths and weakness. The key benefit of extracting results. The key benefit of extracting results from simulations include risk assessment. First, extracting results from the simulated based analysis. The first one is risk assessment, identifying potential weakness in the current security infrastructure and prioritizing mitigation effort based on simulated attack outcome. Cost effectiveness. Simulations allow organizations to explore various countermeasures without incurring real-world expenses, helping optimize resource allocation. Then we have scenario testing, conducting simulations under different attack scenarios help improve incident response planning and effectiveness. We also have continuous improvement. Simulated results provide insights into areas of improvement, leading to the refinement of security policies and practice. And then the last on the bucket is proactive approach. Extracted results from this analysis enables organizations to stay ahead of emerging threats by testing the impact of countermeasures against the evolving threat vectors. In conclusion, we'll say that in today's dynamic cybersecurity landscape, employing robust security countermeasure techniques is vital to safeguard digital assets and data. By leveraging simulations-based analysis, organizations can optimize their security posture, identify vulnerabilities, and proactively respond to emerging threats. The continued focus on security countermeasures and the insight gains from the simulated analysis will play a crucial and very important role in fortifying cybersecurity defense. I believe with this, we'd like to thank the professor for taking our time to listen to us. I don't know if my colleagues have anything to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Look, Kaika, do you have anything to say? Yeah, muted.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.